here's how to actually effectively disappear. I'm 19 years old, I've been living by myself for 1 year now, and this is how I went from like completely nothing to just starting to do a little bit of something, right? And that's all you gotta do. You shouldn't be going through phases of extreme motivation and no motivation. That's not gonna work in the real world, at least. Now, you need to figure out what you're better at than other people, and you need to learn how to leverage that, especially if you're somebody with no paper skills like I was. You need to learn basically what you're good at, what you have an eye for, and go for jobs where you can excel at that very easily, because the more effort you have to put into your job, the less effort you have remaining to work on other things. When I first moved, I was doing a job I was extremely naturally bad at. I was just sanding these little tiny dents in walls in really nice apartments, and I have a big lack for attention to detail. So when I got home from that job, I was completely mentally exhausted. So I didn't have work, I didn't have the motivation to do anything else, because that took up all of my motivation basically. Now where I'm doing things that require short-term social skills, talking to people, being super active, moving around, basically just waiting tables. But the result is that I'm a lot better at that naturally, so I can be very good at it. I don't have to be the best, I can just be good to, keep my job, but it doesn't take very much effort. And so it can leave me with enough reserves in the tank to work on this is at least the way I see it. I have my ambitions, my main plan, my backups, and then my emergency skills. You should have those. So, right, ambitions are the things that are your highest risk, but highest reward. Money-wise, your main goal should be reasonably good, should be able to make reasonably good money and not be too risky. Your backup plans are things that make you almost guaranteed money and are very, very, very low risk, but the money isn't going to be that amazing, obviously. And then you have your backup skills, which are going to be things you can rely back on so that you don't become homeless, basically. So for me, my ambitions are social media and modeling. My main plan is personal training. My backup skills are just doing the normal community college thing and IT stuff, like getting in, and then my emergency skills would be blue collar work like woodworking and metalworking, waiting tables, and busking. Those are all skills that I have already built, so I no longer have to allocate so much time to them. Whereas the other things, they still require skill building, which takes up your valuable time. So figure out what those are for you. And another component is whether you actually enjoy the thing, but no job out there you're gonna enjoy 24/7, or you're gonna enjoy the entire time you do it. So just keep that in mind, right? So my advice to actually disappear, focus on one thing at a time. If your goal is to, get jacked, then get jacked. Don't focus on building your career and getting jacked and, just doing all the things, basically. Just focus on one at a time, because that'll be a lot more effective. You can do multiple things at a time, but know they're going to grow slower. So, when I first started rock climbing, for example, I rock climbed 4 hours a day and improved at astounding rates, right? But now that I'm trying to build up my career, I'm mostly maintaining my strength via rock climbing. I'm still slowly building it, because doing anything, you're gonna hopefully become a little bit better at it, but I'm not able to allocate the number of resources time-wise I was able to allocate, when I was still in high school. So at least for me, it was very useful to draw it all out on a large piece of paper. I'm a very picture-minded person, so it was very useful, not only helping me see all the different pathway options, but also just to take it all out of my brain and put it onto paper. And this is what it looks like. I am actually moving in a few months, so I did this process all over again. So I have my ambitions, my main plan, my backup stuff, and then my emergency skills. I've got and then I've got each pathway for each of the most important skills here. So I've got a pathway for the modeling, the personal training, the college, the IT skills, and the social media aspect. Now, I probably won't, you know, there's a good chance I won't be able to do all of these at maximum effectiveness, but if I focus most of my time on my main plan and then a little bit of time on my ambitions, which have a small chance of being successful, and then a little bit of time on the backup just so it doesn't fall through the fence, I guess, or fall through whatever you say, whatever that phrase is, then you're set up reasonably well. And then you have your logistics for what things you actually need to do that aren't related to this. And if you're moving out, that might be like minimizing your stuff. Like I have that one as one of my things right there, right? And so that's pretty much it. If you want to know like the actual logistic stuff about it, like what you should actually do to take steps into moving out, here's what you're gonna need to do. You're gonna need to save up a lot of money. 3 or 4 months would be very, very good, but you know, if it comes to not having that much, then so be it. Better to have 3 to 4 months though. Second is minimizing your personal items. That will be extremely useful. Even like one backpack of stuff, and plus your car if you have a car. And then you have basic things like finding where you want to go and setting stuff up before you actually get to the location, right? Like setting up your job and the place you're gonna live before you actually move there would be very, very useful. I didn't do it, so I spent a lot of excess money getting that in order while I was already here, where if I had done it beforehand, I wouldn't have needed to spend that excess money, and I would have been able to use that money to have in my savings or have it invested, right? So my mistake, but we live and we learn. So let me know if you found this information useful, and that's about it.